right, T-Lou in the building, boy. Best podcast in the Carolinas, man. All right, good to have you, T.
I appreciate you having me on, man.
Hey, it's a North Carolina thing, you know.
I feel you. No place better. No place better.
Hey, that's right. That's right. Okay. Let me know when we live, T. We good to go. All right. All right. Hey, this is Sports Brothers Media. I am Hip Hop Mag, C11 Studios. I got a special guest in the building tonight, ranked number 41 in the country by 247 Sports. Ranked number 2 in North Carolina, and ranked number 7 overall in the nation, man. In the class of 2012, I give it up, man. Tyler Lewis. Lewis in the building. All right.
Going on. Hey. Appreciate you guys, man. Appreciate you guys having me.
Hey, man, we appreciate you, T. All right. Tyler, let us know where you're from and what area code you're repping, homie.
Well, originally from Statesville, North Carolina, representing 704. Currently in Winston-Salem, so, I guess I'm representing the 336 right now. So either one of them, I'm good with.
Hey, that's what it is, man. North Carolina is North Carolina. You hear me?
I feel you. That's right.
That's it. That's it. Tyler, tell us how old you were when you first started hooping, man.
Man, I was young. So my brother and my dad, they put the ball in my hands at an early age.
Wow.
I mean, I was probably 3 or 4 years old when I picked up the basketball and started playing. Nothing too serious. My brother was just out in the driveway, shooting around, dribbling.
Yep.
And, kind of fell in love with it right then. Me and my brother, we were always kind of competing against each other. He was sort of the best big brother I could ask for.
Yep.
He let me play with him every single day, hang out with his friends. He was just someone I looked up to so much, and he started playing basketball, and everything he did, I looked up to him and did the same. When he quit baseball, soccer, same thing. So good thing he stuck with basketball because that was the sport I was best at.
Yep, that's it. That's it. That's how it goes. When guy got something planned for you, it's meant for you.
For sure. Our plan means nothing. God's plan is way bigger than ours. I can tell you that much.
That's right. That's right. Okay. Tell us how it was growing up in Statesville. That's a real small town, especially for basketball.
It's really small, but it's a good thing. A lot of being from Statesville, my whole family's from there, so it was nice being surrounded by them. It's a small city, so everyone pretty much knew who we were as a family and what we stood for as a family.
Yeah.
And being able to represent from Statesville, North Carolina, I think one thing my mom told me, I think it was one of my freshman or sophomore years at NC State, like one of her favorite things was like hearing the announcement, like the starting lineup, like Tyler Lewis from Statesville, North Carolina. Yeah. And that will always sit with me when she told me that. And just knowing that I came from a small town of Statesville, pretty much anything's possible. And, I really never in high school, really never went to school in Statesville. I drove about 40 minutes every day to, for Side Country Day, 8th grade through 11th grade.
I remember Country Day.
Yep. And then, so just, my dad and brother, my brother drove me. Well, he went there too, but my dad wanted what's best for us, and I thought that was the best situation for us. And it turned out to be a great situation. It was really hard actually leaving there to go to Oak Hill my senior year. Yeah. I actually turned it down the first time. And I was like, Dad, I don't know if I want to go. And my dad was like, no, you're going. And then honestly, that was a tremendous move for me to go to Oak Hill, to be able to play, win a national championship there, get my name on the wall, be a McDonald's All-American. None of that stuff would have been possible if I would have stayed at Forsyth. But, being able to represent North Carolina and go to the most prestigious high school in America is pretty cool.
Yeah. That's definitely dope. And I got a lot of questions about that Oak Hill. But let me get to this. Tell me, when was it, what grade was it when you started blowing up and receiving those college letters, Tyler?
It's crazy. I always played up in AAU. My dad was my AAU coach before we combined with Ty White. We were the Carolina Flight. He was Petersburg Elite, which is now Team Loaded.
Okay.
So that was pretty cool. My dad, when I was 15, 14 under, I was playing 16s, even some 17s.
Wow.
I just always thought, and this is, I think in today's society is like, you're only going to really get seen when you're playing 16s, 17s. Like no college coaches are really going to like go sit at a freshman's game, especially now with the transfer portal going on too.
Yeah.
But my dad always wanted me playing up and playing against bigger and better competition.
Yeah.
And it's crazy because my 8th grade year, going into my freshman year of going into my freshman year of high school, I already had 3 offers, and
Mm,
that was really crazy because I
that's
mean
great.
it was Virginia Tech, Auburn, Charlotte, and those are 3 schools that 2 are Power 5 and one's right. Charlotte is
Yep.
they were a great school. They were in the A10 at the time, and so like those 3 offers like honestly gave me even more confidence. But it also put a bullseye on my back every time I stepped out on the court.
Oh yeah.
Because honestly, everyone was like, "Man, it's like I heard it my whole life. Like it's either this short white kid can hoop, or I'm way better than this short white kid." So, so I
Now,
always,
you was like the professor.
always had to go out and prove myself every single game,
Yeah.
and that's why I had a chip on my shoulder every single game, and I really loved it because every day in practice
You had to prove yourself.
I had to prove myself. So I loved it, and that's really when the interest started to come.
Mm-hmm.
NC State offered me as I think maybe a freshman,
Okay.
Monty Tal, Sidney Lowe, and that staff, and it was and
Sidney Lowe.
and they were on me from the beginning, and those 2 being point guards. I was like, man, this is a great spot for me. And then obviously they got let go when I got there, but before I got there, but I wanted to honor my commitment. I love NC State, and
Yep.
um, being from North Carolina, whenever
Yep.
you're committed, I still think they have one of the best fan bases in the country.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm biased, but them and Butler are they're sensational.
Hey,
Um,
and I'm a fan too.
so I love it, and so that whole experience started young for me
Mm-hmm.
between that 8th grade and 9th grade year.
Nice, nice. That's a beautiful thing, man. Hey, give it up for Tyler Lewis. Very good. Okay, for the viewers and fans who don't know Tyler, tell them what high school did you play at before you eventually went to Oak Hill?
So I went to Forsyth Country Day, played there 8th grade, actually 8th grade through 11th grade. So I spent 4 years on varsity there.
Wow. Hey.
Yeah, I started pretty much every game there besides like my first 10 games of my 8th grade year. And, it was a great experience, played against tons of great competition.
Yep.
Didn't made it pretty far in the state championship. I think that's what led me back there and wanted me to go back my senior year. But, Oak Hill was a little bit better of an option. But, being at Forsyth was kind of where I kind of made my name in a way, because playing varsity as an 8th grader and playing at such a high level was able to put my name on a map as well.
Yep, and the one thing, Tyler, back then in 2008 and 2009, you had to be a studded star. You see what I'm saying? And, especially in North Carolina, and in your position, your coach was doing the right thing because you was a starting point guard. I can attest to being at your level, because me and Hip Hop Mag here, we played at Westover in Fayetteville. I played varsity my freshman year, and your coach had prepared you for that. You see what I'm saying? And it's not easy coming out of middle school and being a starting point guard on varsity.
Yeah, no, it was. It wasn't easy, but like all those hard times of practicing, going against older guys that my dad prepared me for, playing up in AAU, going against my brother every single day. It prepared me for that. Yep. And I played with, my first 2 years at Forsyth, I played with Rusty LaRue, who, he played with the Bulls for a little bit, star at weight, 3-sport athlete there. And then my last 2 years, I played with Craig Dawson, he's from Kinston, played at Wake Forest as well. One of the best shooters of all time in the ACC. And I will say this, like Craig.
Hey, look, I'm in the same class as you. That 2012.
Yep. And Craig was, he let me go. Like whenever he took over my sophomore year,
Yeah.
it was he gave me the keys and he said, "You're running the show." So I mean, honestly, him and Ty White were like the two, and Coach Smith at Oak Hill. Like those were the three coaches that were like, "Hey, you got the keys. You're running. You're driving the car. So let's ride. Don't wreck it."
Man, absolutely amazing, man. It's a beautiful thing. Tyler, tell us, man, who was it at Oak Hill with you when you was there? Some stars.
Man, my class. I mean, Jordan Adams. He played in the NBA. He was like the 23rd pick in the NBA draft. Started off. He went to UCLA for 2 years. We had a really, really good team. We played together. I wouldn't say we had like star-studded, like, people still in the league right now.
Yeah.
But, I mean, we started me at the one, Devontae Smith Rivera, who was Big East Player of the Year at Georgetown, averaged, darn near close to 20 a game in the Big East. Jordan Adams, who is he's a scoring machine. He's tremendous. One of the best shooters I ever been around, to be honest with you.
I love
the crazy thing about it is those two actually averaged like 20 points a game at Oak Hill. Yeah. And people always think like, Tyler, how many points you average at Oak Hill? And I'm like, I didn't really have to score too much. I averaged around 11.7, I think, around 7.8 assists. Like my stat line wasn't like the sexiest, but we went 44-0. And I tell people all the time, I'm like, point guards are judged on winning games.
Hey, not only that, Tyler, the thing is, what people don't understand is when you go to schools like that, the Word of God Christian Academies, the Oak Hill Academies, that means you are already destined to go to the next level.
Yeah, you're playing against such good competition every single day. I mean, like those were the other two guards in the backcourt was Jordan Adams and Devontae Smith. One was going to Georgetown and one was going to UCLA. So Ike Aregbu came off the bench. He went to Washington State. Darian Clark, ended his career at Southern Cal. Had big AJ Hammonds at center, 7-footer, went to Purdue. So we had a great team. We played well together. And the thing that whenever, and I say Coach Smith is the best at this. Whenever you have that much talent, I never seen a coach be able to have all his players buy in and still let them play their games as well as play in his system.
That's very good. That's very good. I know you can trust that coach.
Yeah, for sure. Hey, whenever you coach Carmelo Anthony, Ray John Rondo, Steve Blake, and those type Steven Jacksons and those type dudes, Jeff McGinnis's and Brandon Jennings and stuff like that. Like, if you're not paying attention, and his resume speaks for himself. He's a Hall of Famer. Yeah, no doubt. I think he's the best high school coach ever. Maybe I'm a little biased, but when you have 9 national championships, I think it speaks for itself.
Hey, resume speaks for itself. You hear me? Tap in. It's the best podcast in the Carolinas, North and South. Tyler Lewis. I got my co-host with me tonight. I am Hip Hop Mag. Talk to him.
Hey, man. Who's your top 5 players of all time?
Ooh, top 5 players all time. My favorite or who I think is the top 5?
If you had to pick a team right now and had to run with that 5,
I had to pick. I'm definitely going MJ and LeBron. I think those are the 2 best players ever.
Yeah.
They're unbelievable. I would probably go Steph Curry. You got to have the best shooter out there of all time. I think he's changed the game. He may not be like overall top 5, but he's darn near it now. If I need a big guy, so I'll go with the all-time leading scorer in the NBA. I'll go with Kareem. And then this one's gonna be tough. I'm debating between like 4 players. I'm going like Kobe, Magic, Larry, or Tim Duncan. Like I think Tim Duncan's the most underrated player of all time. Like
possibly.
Somebody who doesn't get like we talked about resume speaking for itself. He has the same amount of rings as Kobe and more MVPs. But I would probably go I'd probably go. I'm kind of a Lakers guy, so I'm going either Kobe or Magic. So
There you go.
let me just throw. I'll go Magic. I'll go Magic.
Okay, that's a solid squad. That's a solid squad right there.
And he's more of a PG. So
Yeah, you can spread that ball around. You got some scores out there.
I hope so with that five.
With that five for sure.
That's it. Hey, T. Lou in the building, man. Tell me, T. Lou, that was an NBA school. How was the atmosphere once you hit the campus at Oak Hill, man? Like, what's going on through your mind?
Oh man, I'll tell you this: like the mouth of Wilson, Virginia. I mean, it's only like 5 minutes from the border of North Carolina, but honestly, it's in the sticks of the mountains. There's nothing else up there besides Oak Hill Academy. Like you're riding up there, you're like, man, what the heck am I getting myself into?
Yeah.
But you pull up the campus, and you pull it to that gym, and you walk in there, and you're like, if you just look at the, before you don't look at the side you walk in with all the jerseys hung up, you're like, man, this is the Oak Hills gym.
Wow.
I mean, it's small, it's kind of like run down, but you look in there and you just see banners after banner after banner, and you're like, holy crap, like this is Oak Hill Academy. And then you turn around, you have 70 to 100 Division I players jerseys up there, and you're like, all right, this is the coolest thing ever. And I say this, like the gym is the perfect size for Mount of Wilson, Virginia, because you don't need a big gym. I say this, like the smaller gyms in college basketball are the smaller gyms anyways, like the Camerons, like I mean, I still think like NC State should play all their games on campus at Reynolds where the girls play. Like that place would be jumping every single night. And Butler, it's only 9,100. Like it's fun to play in. That atmosphere, it sells out every game. Like so when I was at Oak Hill, like that little gym was loud, and like all the kids on campus, they're supporting us. Like they're coming to the games. Like that's half the crowd right there. And then I was lucky, and I will say this: like my dad, or I had a family member, either my mom or dad, come to every game I played at Oak Hill. Like all 44 of them that year, and we traveled a ton. So, and I'll say this: like if it wasn't for my parents were awesome. They were like the team mom and dad that year because we lived so close. Like when we were able to go off campus, like I would have like 5 people staying at our house. My mom or dad, they would bring up like Zaxby's or Bojangles or something. Because
yes, sir.
So the food up there wasn't. I mean, we were tired of the cafeteria. It wasn't the best food. So like my parents would literally come up there 2 or 3 times a week and, be like a team mom and dad. So it was awesome to have them a part of it along the journey as well. And I think that's what made the living situation a little better than what it was.
That's very good, man. All right, T. Lou in the building. Hey, man, tell me how in the hell didn't y'all win that championship that year? It was you, T.J. Warren, and Rodney Purvis, man. Talk to me about that,
man. My freshman year at NC State. I mean, honestly.
Hey, and y'all had C.J. Leslie too.
Oh, I mean, honestly, we had a loaded squad. I mean, I thought Lorenzo Brown was our best, probably our best player.
I remember Zoe.
I mean, because TJ hasn't, like TJ's sophomore year, he was unbelievable. Like obviously from a standpoint of like who was the best player out of all of them, TJ Warren, no doubt. Like he was just the best scorer I've been around. Like the dude's a walking bucket. And honestly, Richard Howell had a tremendous senior year. He was, I just think Scott Wood was on the team. He could stroke it like crazy. Fill it up.
Keep going.
But I think what it realizes, people don't understand how hard it is to win at the college level. Like every game is, you're, especially that year, we were preseason top 5, projected to go Final Four. We lose first round. Of the NCAA tournament to Temple. Like Khalif Wyatt went for like 33 on us or something crazy. And I think we're a little bit kind of probably full of ourselves. The year before they went to the Sweet 16, and we almost got everybody back with 3 McDonald's All-Americans. So I think our heads were a little bit too big, and you know, I think we kind of probably coasted a little bit at times, but you know,
Rodney, I ain't gonna lie, Rodney had a real hard time.
Yeah, but I mean, Rodney's one of the best players I ever played with. People don't give him the credit that he deserves.
Yeah, he started to get it together though.
Right, yeah.
Like from, I mean, personally,
where do you put Rodney at? Rodney was a combo guard, not necessarily a true point guard like yourself, but you know he was small at that two guard position.
I mean, this is what I call Rodney a basketball player.
Yeah,
he's the type of guy that may not have a true position. He may not be a true point guard, true shooting guard or whatever, but he's strong. He's physical. He defends. You know, he's one of the best at getting downhill. Like, I mean, I had guarding him, getting bumped off him. I was like $150 going to college, so I hated that.
Tyler Lewis, you ain't got to explain to me. I played against him too.
And I'll say this, like, I think if he was probably and in college is different for every person. I think people excel in different situations. Like, you know, you could say this about another player, but like maybe if you switch Rodney with a different person on another team, like Rodney would have that same impact.
Right.
And then, you know, if you put somebody on another team and put them on our team, they may have did worse or better. You know, it all depends on, honestly, the culture, like at first, I mean, obviously the culture, because you got to have a culture to, you know, be able to, but I mean, the system, and how the confidence that the, you know, coaches or other players feed you, because you're never going to play your best basketball. And I don't think any of us that year, the freshmen, or, you know, I don't think probably anyone on our team probably played the best to their ability my freshman year. Because I think
y'all were young.
Yeah, I mean, we were, but I mean, we still had 2 juniors that we started, and Lorenzo and CJ, and 2 seniors, and Richard Howell and Scott Wood that started. And people don't realize, like, you know, it's hard jumping from, like, for us as being, you know, 3 McDonald's All-Americans, like, me, TJ, Rodney probably never came off, you know, hardly ever came off the bench, or, you know, in a way, like
not used to coming off the bench.
You know, I mean, TJ may have at his Brewster team because his Brewster team was so loaded, but
Brewster Academy.
But he was. I don't care if you know, TJ could come off the bench and start and still give you 20, but you know, I think it takes time, and that's what we didn't really understand. Looking back, I'm like, man, we should have treated this a little different. Like, we put so much pressure on ourselves.
Yeah, and the thing was, hey, you guys are superstars, man.
I wouldn't say that. We may have thought we were, but I mean, I think we were all probably a little big-headed at the time, and we fed in. We probably, and a lot of kids nowadays too. They feed into all the fan love, and we get so caught up on social media. And I think that's what kind of screwed with us too. Is, you know, after every game, we're looking on social media. If we played a bad game, like, man, what's this person saying about me now? Like, and I think you just got to tune out the outside noise, white noise. You just got to tune it out, and that's something that I don't think we did a very good job of. I mean, personally, I didn't. So,
wow. Hey, you know what? That's deep that you say that, Tyler, because when y'all was coming up, it was the Hoop mixtape. You know what I mean? It was so it was crazy, man. The media game at that time was just unbelievable because the technology wasn't like it was nowadays. You know what I mean? Nowadays you see a whole bunch of superstars, Tyler. You see what I'm saying? But you only had a certain amount of guys. You had to be really good to be at that level.
Yeah, and we talk about it too all the time. Is like how many kids nowadays have mixtapes? So like, what we had mixtapes, and like, and honest, I'm all for it because I think every kid should have the opportunity to be seen on that level, and they should be able to show off their clips. And like that's why I think social media is such a good social media is a positive and a negative.
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
Fact.
Because there's so many ways you can sell yourself as a basketball player or as a business. You can sell your brand on social media, and you're able to reach a new, group of audience that no one would ever hear about. So I think like this from the social media standpoint of things, like, I mean, like Rodney's hoop mixtape is one of the best hoop mixtapes I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah. That was crazy.
Like that is one of the best. Like I think like people, if they go back and see that hoop mixtape or Ball Is Life film, like it's one of the best.
Dude, Tyler, I was trying to tell you earlier, this dude scored 45 on us.
Well, I mean, shoot, he could have scored 45 on probably a lot of us. So,
You see what I'm saying? I've witnessed it.
yeah, shoot, I probably witnessed it too.
Yeah, man. Times are definitely different then, man. Hey, I loved it. I enjoyed it. Okay. What ultimately happened when you left state and went to Butler, man? How was that process?
It was a hard process. I don't think I think I needed to get out of like this since I didn't commit to Coach Godfrey and his staff. Committed with Coach Lowe and Coach Monty. It was really tough. I really liked NC State. I love NC State as a school.
Yeah.
I still pull for NC State.
North Carolina thing.
Yeah, like it's hard to let go like of that NC State roots. Like I told you earlier, I think they have a tremendous fan base, one of the best in the country.
Yeah.
I really loved. I mean, that honestly, Butler was my first visit. Whenever I took the transfer process, and I fell in love. I fell in love with the school. I fell in love with the Butler way. I fell in love with the culture there. There's no better school with a culture than Butler. From the people all the way up, from the managers, the students, everyone in the athletic department, the coaches. The Butler way is more than just a motto. It's kind of a lifestyle, and you're never bigger than someone else. And that's what I love about Butler. And obviously they love their basketball. If you've never been to Hinkle Fieldhouse, get there. It should be on your bucket list to watch a game there.
You know what? If I had got recruited by Butler, I probably would have went too because it's just the Butler way.
Yep, and it was hard too. Like I committed there with Brandon Miller. 3 weeks when I get up there, he takes a leave of absence. So I never played for the head coach that I actually committed to. So I would always try to tell. And I love my experience because Coach Holtman's awesome. He's now the head coach at Ohio State. I think he's one of the best coaches in the country. So I was able to play with him, and tremendous. We had a tremendous coaching staff. My Coach Stragi was the head coach at Elon. Now he's back at Duke. Ryan Pedon's the head coach at Illinois State. Terry Johnson.
What's the other coach, Tyler? What's the other coach that was the coach for the Celtics?
Brad Stevens. Yeah, he was already gone when I got there, but he did he was obviously all the stuff that he built there, the back-to-back Final Fours is tremendous. To be able to do that out of the Horizon League at the time, I mean, when we were there, we were the Big East, but for him to be a one bid league and to do that back-to-back years is unbelievable. People don't understand how hard that is. And I mean, they kind of set the way. I mean, Butler's made some some Sweet 16s before that, for sure. But like those two Final Fours definitely help build Butler basketball.
That's it, baby. All right. Hey, Tyler Lewis in the building, Sports Brothers Media. I am Hip Hop Mag, C11 Studios. Tyler, how was it being a part of that 2012 class among Nerlin Noels, Steven Adams, Marcus Smart, Gary Harris, Sam Dare?
It was a tremendous class. I think, the one that gets lost in the class, I think, was a tremendous player was Isaiah Austin that played at Baylor. He had the heart problem.
The big dude.
And he was one of the most talented players I think I've ever seen at that size to do what he could do. We had Anthony Bennett in our class.
Yeah.
Shabazz Muhammad was, I think he was number one in the country pretty much from like 9th grade to 12th grade. So to be able to, stay in that spotlight for that long is so impressive.
Yeah.
And, it's so hard because, I mean, even I'm in the recruiting world right now, but we get so caught up in like rankings and this stuff. Like at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter. Like it matters at the time, but at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter. Like your job is to, get a college scholarship. You don't need to impress like a certain scout. You just got to impress one individual coach to offer you a scholarship. And like I think the toughest player in our class, and you see it every NBA night, is Marcus Smart. Like the dude is a winner. The dude battles. He's tough as nails. Like he's one of the, and like that was, I mean, he was one of the best. I think in our class that gets overlooked. I think if TJ can stay healthy, I think he can be one of the best. I mean, you see what he did in the bubble. He was ACC Player of the Year, averaging 24 in one of the best basketball conferences in America. Like TJ was a lottery pick, and people forget that. And I'm like, the dude went for 50 in the bubble. Like once he gets back healthy, like it could be a wrap. Like he's one of the best scorers I've ever seen.
Yep, with ease.
So who's the best player you ever played against or with?
Oh man, best player I ever played. It's crazy is I played a couple Pro-Am games when I was in high school. There was a Pro-Am league at Forsyth Country Day, and I was able to play with Chris Paul a couple times.
Oh,
so
wow.
if you want to go with that,
those
2 games, I'm going with Chris Paul. I mean, it's hard. He's tremendous.
It's hard to top that one.
Best player I've ever played against. That's hard because there's so many different positions. Like I didn't have to guard them. I mean, there's some bigs that I would be like, oh, this is really good big.
Best point guard.
But the best point guard I played against, I mean, Marcus Smart's pretty freaking good.
There you go. Yeah. That's it.
But the hardest person I actually had to guard would be, I mean, I would say those three in my class were really tough. I mean, Yogi Ferrell was extremely quick. Marcus Page was really freaking good. But I think one of the toughest I had to guard was Chris Dunn. Played with the Bulls for a little bit, went to Providence.
Oh yeah.
He was tremendous. I mean, they were really good. So, like I still think, like, I mean, Jabari Parker and Rodney Hood were two that were really good in college that I had to play. So, I mean, you find different people. I mean, just because I had trouble with them don't mean you're going to have trouble with them. Like everyone's different.
That's true.
And, like there's some players that, like Shane Larkin, that Miami team, like they were freaking hard to guard.
Oh yeah. They were nice. They were fun to watch too.
So like that stuff is, I mean, everybody is different. And, I couldn't really say like who is the clear cut. I mean, I can go back to Austin Rivers when I think we played him 3 times in AAU and went for like 35 or 40, like between 35 and 40 on us. So, but like those are type stuff that I'm like, it's hard to pick like who is the best player I played against.
Very good. Now tell us, Tyler, how has the game changed up today in 2022 versus when you was coming up in 08 and 09?
I think the game, like from a basketball standpoint, I think the game's getting more positionless. I think more people are wanting to be guards more than ever. Right now, you see 6'9" to 7-footers wanting to stand out on the perimeter, and I'm like, you can just go get buckets anytime you want, just getting in the post. I think the pace of the game has gotten faster. There's more possessions, even in high school games, college games, NBA games. So I think that's the two things. Obviously, the 3-point line's changing the game. Like, I mean, we had it back then, but not as many people were, honestly, we were all trying to get on hoop mixtapes, trying to break ankles or dunk the ball. Uh, I mean, nowadays the three pointers definitely changed everything. The analytics part of the game has been huge. Part of it, probably the past 10 years. You're always looking for a vantage point there.
Great.
I think that's some things that the game's changed from the basketball standpoint. I just think from the recruiting area standpoint of things, but like I think like the social media part of things definitely changed. We didn't have as many social media tools to probably throw us off. So I think nowadays, like kids have a more advantage to get their name out there. They also have more opportunities to screw themselves over by posting something stupid or doing something stupid on social media, or somebody having their camera out. So I mean, it's like I said earlier, social media is a pro and a con. So you always got to handle yourself with class, and even whatever you do, like you got to watch what you put on social media. Nothing's ever really deleted on social media, so make sure you just got to watch what you put on there.
Let the people know what you're doing now.
Yeah, I'm working with Phenon Hoops. My dad started the company. He started doing camps and stuff back in like 2003. Really didn't get into the tournament side of things until probably I got in college. So probably around 2012, 2013, he started doing all the tournament stuff. And now we have a scouting service, and we're running tournaments and camps pretty much every weekend, trying to do our best ability to help these kids have an opportunity to be seen by college coaches and to get their name out even more. And that's why I say, like, our social media platform gives these kids an opportunity to be reached by thousands of people.
That's respect. Hey, yeah, give me a player to watch that you got on your radar, like a high school guy or a college guy, somebody.
Oh, high school guy. I would probably Drake Powell right now. Paul McNeil, Jaron Stevenson. Probably 3 top 50 guys in the country. They're really good. I mean, in the 2023 class, I mean, a lot of people are leaving the state right now. Like Biz is, I mean, he was already gone. He was in Indiana last year. Now he went out to Prolific. I think Freddie DeLeon at Word of God, Silas Demery.
Wow! Shouts out to Word of God Christian Academy. Tap in.
Yeah, I think Freddie's. He's a really good player. If you haven't seen Freddie at Word of God, you should probably. He'd be a fun one to go watch this year.
Hey, let's get it, Freddie. Hey, I'm on my way.
Check him out.
I'm on my way.
Check him out. Okay.
I mean, yeah, Word of God's talented. They're getting back to where they used to be for sure. I think people forget the amount of talent has been through Word of God.
Tyler,
because you just get so caught up in the John Wall there.
Tyler. I went to school at Word of God in 2012. I sat with the greats, man. T.J. Warren, Josh Newkirk, Bishop Daniels, Dez Wells, the Torian Grahams. Man, the list goes on.
That list goes on. Those are heard about 5 Division I players right there. So
yeah, I got you.
Yeah.
So speaking of community, man, and the youth, what's the biggest advice you can give to the players coming up that want to reach the heights that you have risen to?
I'll give them 2 things. I think you can't compare yourself to others. I think everyone, grows at a different pace. Everyone's going to be seen at a different pace. Like if you see a freshman getting offered and you're another freshman, don't get so caught up. Use that as motivation. Don't get jealous or whatever, or don't get down on yourself because one kid got offered. Just keep working extremely hard. Yep. And that my next point is, I mean, if you're not working on your game every single day and you don't love it and you don't love the grind, you're going to have a hard time keep succeeding at that sport. No matter what sport it is, you got to love the grind every single day. You got to love, the early morning workouts, the weight room, you got to love playing pickup, all that stuff. I mean, you got to go the extra mile in order for you to reach your dreams. And, it all starts with how bad do you want it and how hard you're going to work.
That's it. Hey, you heard it here first. That's big facts from T. Lou. Tap in, man. Favorite artist on your playlist right now, Ty?
Oh, shoot. I would probably go with 2 North Carolina guys.
There you
Probably
go.
the only two people I really listen to. I probably go with J. Cole, and I throw country music artist Luke Combs out there. Those would be my two. Yeah, so those would be my two. You got to switch it up every now and then to those two. Those are unless my little one's in the car. I have a 15-month-old, and Coco Melon is still in the show.
Over, man.
Yeah, taking over the playlist. But yeah, J. Cole or Luke Combs are the two I listen to the most. Shoot, they could just collab together, and
that would be nice.
It'd be a little weird, a little awkward at times, but it would be fun.
It could work.
Hey, that's it, man. Favorite TV show, Ty?
Oh, favorite TV show, all time probably Fresh Prince.
Okay.
Yeah, Fresh Prince. Boy. Yeah.
What about right now? What you watching right now?
Oh man, what am I watching right now? I'm trying to think. My wife's watching Stranger Things right now. So
I ain't got into that yet.
Yeah, it's I'm trying to think what I don't know. I'd probably watch whatever she has on. So trying to get ready for these weekends. It's hard to sit down and watch a TV show.
Yeah, I feel you, man. I feel you.
Yeah, gotta stay busy. All right. Hey, you still playing that 2K? You sneak in there a little bit and play that?
I'll say this: whenever I was in college coaching, I did. Because I would want to play against the guys, but not anymore. Not anymore. I would, and I'm the type of person I would just try to grab the best player and just try to go off with him. Like it's really not. So I'm probably not the best 2K player, but
that's all right. Ain't no wrong with that. Hey, listen, Tyler, tell us who you do this for when you wake up every day, dog.
Oh, I do it for my family. I do it for the person who gave us this life on earth and God. He blesses us every single day. Every day is a blessing. I have a beautiful wife. Do it for her. My son and my family. I think when you have faith and family, those are the two most important things in your life. If you take good care of those two things, good things will happen. So
that's very good.
How long you think you're gonna do the Phenom Hoops thing? You want to coach in the future or what?
Well, I just got out of coaching not too long ago, about a year and a half ago. I'm not 100% sure whatever God has in store for me. Right now it's hard to. I love being able to work with my brother and my dad.
Yeah, that's perfect, man.
Like I said, there's nothing better than family, and being able to be with those guys every single weekend. I think I told my dad this before. It's like when I was in college coaching, like I would see him like probably, once every 3 months. Now I see him every week, and
that's what's up, man.
That's the stuff that I don't take for granted. I mean, there's a grind to whatever you do. There's a grind in college coaching. There's a grind in this stuff. I mean, people just think it all happens on the weekend, but honestly, our real grind is throughout the week, making phone calls, dealing with the schedule every single week. Like a big puzzle. It's a puzzle every single week, trying to put these games on the grid, a bracket, and it's really tough. But being able to have someone like my brother and dad that you can rely on every single week it gives you comfort.
How can some coaches or players that's never been a part of Phenom Hoops get involved?
Honestly, just reach out to me, my dad or brother, and if you're a travel ball team, we're doing we do tournaments pretty much every weekend.
Okay.
If you're a player, our camp schedule is pretty much in the fall, and we're doing tons of tournaments, tons of camps, trying to give as many kids the platform to be seen as much as possible. I mean, I know there's other companies out there that do the same thing we do, but honestly, I feel like no one gives the best coverage than we do. I think we get the most out of anyone, and I think we're trying our best to help every kid out that comes through our program or the Phenom brand.
That's respect, man.
Very good, very good. All right, Tyler Lewis, we definitely gonna stay in contact with you. It's the best podcast in the Carolinas, North and South. Man, this is crazy.
Hey, respect to you, man.
Okay. All right. This is Sports Betters Media. I am Hip Hop Mag, C11 Studios, Tyler Lewis. Hey, I appreciate you, Tyler. Very good. Much love to you. Anything else you want to tell us, Ty?
No, I appreciate you guys for having me on. Nope.
Hey, respect, man.
I enjoyed it, and there's no place like North Carolina. I can tell you that much.
Hey, I had found you, man, in the team of champs and that Coach Black, his lineups on Twitter.
Say it again.
Juice, AAU team.
Yep. They come support us a lot. Coach Black's a good one for sure.
I love Coach Black, man. I gave him an interview not too long ago, courtside.
Nah, he's one of the best. I appreciate him, and they show us a lot of support. So we got to show them the love back, and that's what our job is. To, like I told you, is building relationships with these coaches and these players to help for their brand as well.
Yep, that's it, man. All right, Big Brandon, tap in, man. Tyler Lewis, man. Let's get it.
Good shit, boy, man.